Hello everyone, my name is Maureen Winan and I'm a business analyst here at Odoo. Today I would like to talk to you about understanding Odoo's manufacturing scheduling. But before we begin, please scan the QR code that you can find here, which is going to give you access to the Q&A pad where you can submit questions for discussion after the presentation. Sorry. So whether you're managing a small production line or overseeing a large manufacturing scale, sorry, a bit stressed. You know that keeping everything running smoothly is not that easy. Manufacturing operation is often complex, and one of the biggest challenges that many companies faces is having a not accurate, clear overview of their schedule and planning. Picture this. You just received a big order where you have to from a key customers, but you don't know when you're going to manage to deliver it. You don't have a clear overview of when you can of how long each step of the production line is going to take, whether if you have any availabilities in inventory or if you're going to receive the raw material in time. Well, this is really an issue because then it means that you cannot optimize your production in time, that probably you're going to have delays in terms of deadlines, and that you're going to make your customer satisfaction suffer. Very sorry, I'm very stressed. First time talking today. All right, so one of the companies that is having that issue at the moment and that is looking forward to improve their production schedule is Swift Ride Skate. They are a leading skateboard manufacturer that is focusing on creating high-performance skateboards for riders of all levels. They focus on innovations such as high production quality of the raw material, and also making sure that everything is delivered on time. At Swift Ride Skate Company, very sorry, it's very intimidating. At Swift Ride Skate Company, meeting the demands in time is really crucial for their production schedule and also production quality. They really do not want to impact their performance or precision in this case. So let's talk about the risk and advantages in here. One of the risk is having delays due to unexpected disruptions, such as overtime, supply chain risks, supply chain issues, or having unexpected equipment failures. Another issue is having inefficiencies that ride up costs, such as having the unnecessary overtime, excess of inventory, or even delays in resource allocations. A last one is having difficulties with coordinations. So let's think of here the complexity that it can be to make sure that everything is run smoothly at the same time, that every operation is done at the same time, and that everything is coordinated between teams. This can be quite challenging. Well, Odoo's manufacturing scheduling is here to help you improve that part. How can they do that? By making sure that everything is delivered on time, that labor efficiency is really present, and that you keep your customers happy, and you keep, of course, their trust. All right, but how to do that? Well, we have different tools that can help us to produce all of that and schedule our production correctly. And for that, we need to think in terms of planning. And for that, precisely about long-term and short-term planning. All right. Do you know what is the difference between long-term and short-term planning? Sometimes it's quite difficult to understand the differences between both. Well, in Odoo, long-term planning is about strategic decisions, such as making sure that you have the capacity, that you are able to forecast in time, and that you have enough resource allocation at the time. So for example, for here, a skateboard manufacturer, the idea would be about making sure that their production capacity is really well planned and that they have enough resources allocated in time. However, the short-term planning is more about immediate demands and needs, and also ensuring that the operations are planned in advance. So for example, if we take once more the example of the manufacturer, they would like to make sure that their daily operations is planned in advance, that they have everything scheduled correctly in terms of their demands, but also that they are able to meet the last-minute changes in case there is any disruptions happening. All right, but you're probably wondering how it happens in Odoo, right? Well, first, let me talk to you about our use case here. So Swift Ride Rates Skates just received a major order about their newly launched product, the Dexstorm skateboard. And that product is supposed to be launched for the Halloween season. Well, myself, as the production manager, I would like to make sure that I'm able to produce those 50 quantities in time and that I have enough raw material available at that time to ensure that I have that the beginning of my production is being able to be planned as scheduled. All right, but how can I make sure that I have everything planned? How can I make sure that Odoo has taken into account every different parameters to ensure my times and my scheduling and planning in here? Well, for that, let's go into the database. So first I will go into the manufacturing BOM overview of my skateboard Dexstorm. So for that I will go in here, production bill of material, Dexstorm skateboard, and I'm going to click on a specific view, which is the BOM overview. The BOM overview, in fact, gives you a clear view on what are the different components that is going to be used to produce that skateboard, and also what time and cost it's going to be able to it's going to give you as information. Sorry about it. Well, here we can see some information about the Dexstorm skateboard. That, for example, they need 4 different components to be able to produce that skateboard, and one of them is the deck, which also needs to be manufactured in this case. And if we click in here, we see that the deck, for example, needs 4 quantities of wood and 1 quantity of glue. Well, okay, that's really interesting, but what interests me more is the lead time column over here. So what I can see here, for example, is that for the wood, I have 4 days. But what are those 4 days, right? Well, those are the days that I need to deliver the product in time and make sure that I have this product available to produce my deck. Okay, so I have a few information here for my different components. Oh, but you know what? In fact, here for the wheels, I'm not exactly sure if my vendor is set correctly. So here I'm going to check really quickly if I have the information well set in here. So for my wheels here, I see that on my purchase overview, I have the vendor Wheelie that is going to take indeed 4 days to deliver my product as soon as I created a purchase order. Well, I think it's correct in here, but now you have seen where you can definitely set that time. Okay, now we have those information. That's really interesting, but I'm seeing something really strange in here. I'm having 0 days for my deck, but however, I know I need some time to produce that and make sure that I have all my components delivered in time. Well, in this case, in fact, I'm still missing some information in here that I need to add up. For example, the time to prepare my different raw materials and make sure that I have everything ready to start my production, but also the time needed to produce my products. And so where can I change that information? It's into the deck bill of material itself. So I will go back in here. And I will be able to go to the miscellaneous operations, where I can see here that I have days to prepare manufacturing order. And what is really nice is that, in fact, Odoo will help me calculate how much time I need to calculate to prepare my raw materials. Do you have an idea what time would be for my raw materials? So if we check really quickly the BOM overview in here, we see that we have 4 days for the wood and 6 days for the wood glue. So as I just told you, in fact, the days here to prepare is in fact the number of time that I need to deliver and receive my products in here. And by clicking here on the compute, I see that 6 days is being selected. Why is that? Because Odoo makes sure that every product the product that takes the longest time to be delivered is being received in here. So here for my case, it was the wood glue that took 6 days. So I need at least 6 days to have all my raw materials to be able to produce my deck. Okay, we have the time to prepare. We're still missing the time itself for the production, right? Well, here, based on the different operations and so on that I have estimated that I have 8 days of production needed. So I'm going to set it up in here. All right. Now, if we go back to the bill of material and the BOM overview of my skateboard, I'm going to see now that I have 14 days filled in here. It is, in fact, those 6 days to be able to prepare all my different raw materials, plus the 8 days of production itself. Okay, now that you have understood how it works, let's do exactly the same for the Dextron skateboard. So if I go back in here, I'm able to go into the miscellaneous, compute, and here you see that I have 14 days because indeed to prepare my deck, I need 14 days. And for the production itself, I need, in fact, only 3 days, 3 days in here. All right, so, oops. If I click here now on my skateboard, I have the BOM overview in here. And I can see now that the total of preparation for my skateboard is 17 days. What does it mean is that it's in fact the minimum number of days that I need to prepare the different products. So that means that, for example, my delivery lead time for the Dexcom skateboard should include those 17 days to make sure that I have everything produced before delivering that product. Okay, so we have the different information in here, but you know, I'm still missing some information because here I see that only for one quantity of my skateboard, but here, just as I told you before, I have 50 quantities to produce. So in this case, I have, in fact, once again, Odoo has the answer to everything. I have the possibility here to fill in the quantities and change that depending on the availabilities that I have in here. Oh, but I didn't see much changing apart from the number of quantities in here changing. Why is that? Because I'm still missing one more information. Let me go back to one more quantity in here, and let's show you the availability of the products. In fact, this is the estimated availability of each product in my BOM overview. So this helps me understanding how much I need to prepare for each product. And for example, what I can see is that to produce one quantity, I need 1 quantity of grip tape, 2 of trucks and bearings, 4 of the wheels. And I have those, in fact, already in inventory. So, in fact, it is already available, and I don't need to plan in advance the number of days to deliver that product, to receive that product. However, I'm still needing those 8 days to be able to produce the deck. So we are the 2nd of October, so here it means that we are the 10th of October for the production of the deck, and plus some more days here. I'm not going to explain further what it is about here. I'm going to show you later on what is happening in here. Okay, so this was easy for one quantity. Let's go back to 50. What does it change in here? In fact, we see now that we don't have enough quantities compared to what is needed. And so in this case, I indeed need to deliver the different products and to ask for the vendor to deliver those products and receive them in time. And so my availability of the products is being changed compared to those different lead times that I have set in here. Okay, so in total, I'm still seeing here that I have 17 days to plan my product. However, if we do the calculation right in here, we have something that is missing in here. We have the 11th of January, the 1st of November for the date in here. What is the issue? Well, in fact, this is linked to the short-term planning of my BOM overview in here. So if we go to the operation views, so I've added a few operations to my skateboard, I can see, in fact, that I'm having a large calculation of my operations in here. So if I go back to 1 hour, one quantity, and I unfold everything so that we see the operations of my deck as well, I see that in average it takes me 2 hours to produce the deck, and it takes me about 1 hour to be able to produce the whole skateboard. However, if I change those quantities to 50, I'm still having like a large number of time to be accounted for, and this is being also adapting the availability of my skateboard in here. And you know what? In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to meet the deadlines in here. So I need to change my strategy in here, right? Let's check which are the most time-consuming operations in here. And I see that my molding line and my skate line are the ones that are going to take the most of the time. So if I go now into the work centers, I'm going to be able to maybe strategize a bit more. Let's go first into the molding line. Well, two aspects here are really essential for me: time efficiency and capacity. In fact, in here for my molding line, I'm going to change the capacity. What does it mean with the capacity? It's basically the number of skateboards that I'm able to produce at the same time in parallel in the same work center. So if I change, so let's say, for example, that if we had 4 hours needed to produce 2 decks, then I would only need 2 hours if I change my capacity to 2. So let's do that in here. And let's go to the skate line 2 to change as well the time efficiency this time. What is the time efficiency? This is the expected duration for my production line. So it means that if, for example, I have 200% here for my production line, and that usually one operation takes 1 hour, well, instead of 1 hour, it's going to be 30 minutes. Okay. And so thanks to that, I'm able now to adapt the different strategies that I have. So for example, here for my molding line, by changing the capacity to 2, I could consider that I have I'm going to need 2 employees to be present in the work center to manage this increase in capacity. All right, now that we have changed that, let's go back to the bill of material and let's see the changes that have been done in here. So we go here into the BOM overview, the availability, and it's changed to 50. Once again, if I go check now here into the operations, I see that my time has been decreased in time for each one of them. So instead, for example, for my deck to take nearly 2 weeks, it's only going to take 1 week to produce the deck. And for instead of 7 days or 1 full week to produce the skateboard, I'm going to need only half of the week to do that. All right, perfect. I'm going to be able then to manage everything correctly, right? Well, there is still one small information that I need to give you in here. So if we check in here, we have 16 days. The 16th of October set for to produce the deck. However, I have said that I have three days to produce the skateboard. Well, it doesn't really account for the 21st, right? It's supposed to be the 19th. Well, what is the change in here? In fact, the 19th is a Saturday, and we are not working on a Saturday. So it's taking into account that option as well, that feature as well. And it is planning then for the Monday after to make sure that I have everything scheduled in time. Okay, and now we have all the different information in here. Let's maybe try to plan that in advance. So here in this case, I'm going to take the 21st of October to make sure that I have all my products produced before the deadline of the end of October. And let's see what is going to happen. So I'm going here into my sales order, and I have here my 50 quantities of my Dexstorm skateboard, and I'm just going to change the expected delivery to be the 21st of October. As soon as I plan this one, I have some manufacturing orders to be generated thanks to the MTO route. I'm going to go here into the manufacturing order, and what I can see is that I have then the different decks that are going to be able to be produced. Here we have the scheduled date that is for the 18th, and if we check now the skateboard, we have the 21st that is going to be changed in here. All right, we are still missing one more information, right? How do I look that into my planning, my short-term vision? Well, before doing that, I'm just want to show you something. We were talking about the fact that we can increase the number of employees in order to increase the capacity of my work center. Well, first you have some information into the operations where you can add that employee capacity. And so here, if I go into the molding and sanding, I see that I have my employee capacity that I have changed to 2. But also something really interesting is that now I have the possibility to also assign the different operations to be done for that manufacturing order to the different employees that I have in here. Okay, so let's do that. And let's plan now. All right, let's look into the work centers. And I see now that I have all my different operations that needs to be assigned in here. And for example, here, my molding center will only take 1 week instead of 2 to be able to produce my whole deck, which is really fantastic, right? Something else to see in here, we were talking about the employee assignment. In fact, I have the possibility to also group per assignee to be able to see how long it's going to take to produce every steps of my production. Okay, we have that done. But you know what? In fact, I'm seeing that my colleague Flip is telling me that we have 100 born-to-board T-shirts to produce ASAP. But in fact, I didn't have the time yet to calculate all the delivery lead times and so on. So what am I going to be able to do about that? Well, this is something new from version 18, is that now on the bill of material overview of my T-shirt, I'm able now to see how what is the next availability of my work center, and so that I can plan, in fact, just right away on the last minute change my operation. And so if I check now, the availability in here, I see that, for example, to produce 100 quantities of my T-shirts, my estimated time to plan my production is going to be on the 23rd of October. So I can now definitely then create an operation, manufacturing order, to produce this born-to-board T-shirt on the 23rd of October. All right, is it not interesting to do that as well? So this is what we have seen until now. So if I would resume what we have discussed until now, we have seen that thanks to the Odoo manufacturing scheduling tool, we are able to optimize production, reduce costs as well, and meet deadlines. But also thanks to the short-term and long-term aspect of the planning overview, I'm able now to be at the same time proactive and reactive on my scheduling planning. Also, one last information, if I need to change my short-term version and be as flexible as possible, I'm also able to transform my capacity and employee assignments to make sure that everything will be done on time. All right, thanks a lot for this session. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for understanding my stress.
Let me read the questions quickly.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Maureen. We have just 3 minutes for questions for you. The first question will be, can we have a forecast schedule from MPS to virtually plan out the future before the MOs are even created?
Well, not really, but we can at least, how to say that, forecast the demand that is going to be happening at that time. However, really, before the production of the MO and so on, it's going to be a bit more hard. In this case, I would recommend then to go through the BOM overview or maybe using reordering rules to make sure that you have everything planned in advance.
All right. Can we review scheduled users plan to work on a given work center to know if work centers will have issues because of the lack of scheduled users required to run the operation?
Sorry, can you repeat that one?
All right, so can we review the scheduled users plan to work on a given work center?
About that one, I'm not exactly sure what you mean, but basically, what is happening in here, so if I go in here, you have the possibility per work center to be able to assign some specific employees in there. So it means that here you can allow that only for those specific employees in here. And of course, as usual, you have the planning in here, where you can then, depending on the availability of the workers and so on, you are able to change the planning if needs to.
Okay, thank you. There's a days to prepare MO. calculation take into account component lead times in lower level BOMs as well?
In lower bumps as well, yes, as you have seen, for example, with the deck, you have those days that are taken into the skateboard part. So every sub bump are taken into account. Also, something I didn't say yet is that, in fact, if you have some security lead times set for the purchase or the manufacturing lead times, it will be taken into account as well.
Can you set the delivery date on an SO? Can you set the delivery date on an SO online item level? It seems you can only set it on the whole order. What they actually mean is to set the delivery line on the sale order line specifically.
On the sale order line, no. Then in this case, I would recommend to create 2 different sales orders if you need to have 2 separate delivery lead times. However, remember that on the manufacturing orders, you have the possibility to, in fact, change the schedule dates if needs to.
Last but not least, but someone says relax and you are perfect. Thank you for the presentation.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. See you.